Good morning, this is Jeff with Sewer Tech Northwest. We are at 6640 Southwest Imperial Drive here in Beaverton. We are located at the back of the house. I describe everything as if you're standing in the street looking at the front of the home or facing the front of the house from the street out front. Anyway, about mid-span across the back of the house, approximately anyway, or you know what, we're closer to about a third of the way. If you work your way in from the right side, you'll see a big 4-inch cast iron cleanout. We're going to check the overall condition, serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. Water is running. We're going to zero out here at the base of the cleanout. Off we go. I was just noticing, kind of off the rear right corner of the house, looks like we've got another cleanout. So it looks like a wraparound sewer. Just swapped over to 4-inch 3034 PVC. That's pretty nice there. You get green pipe right out of the gate. You normally don't get this stuff until you get out near the right-of-way. It's about as good as sewer pipe gets until you get into high carbon steel sewer pipe. It's a very, very good pipe product. That's why generally you only see it underneath right-of-ways, areas of a lot of load bearing. So right here, this looks like where that cleanout's at. There is a, right off the rear right corner of the house, I don't know, 5 feet out from the home, you'll see a green valve cover box. We'll pop that open in a minute just to verify that's what's there. And we just transitioned over to ABS. It's unusual to have that configuration. Normally you go from ABS to PVC. Nothing wrong with it, it's just not typically how it's done. And that line right there is absolutely spiffy clean. That is exactly how you want your line to look right there. Most notably, no grease buildup in the line. After 13 years of scoping sewer lines, I am, in most cases, more concerned about grease buildup than I am a lot of structural issues like bellies and offset joints, things like that. Not those can't cause problems, but what I typically find is those things are exacerbated and turned into problems when people abuse the line with stuff like cooking oil, make the line all sticky and nasty, and then everything else that comes through the pipe gets stuck to it. And you get a pinch point in some of those locations. So whoever's living here is doing a fantastic job. Right back over to 3034 PVC again, and there's the main, at 110 and 109 feet. We're going to go locate that really quick here while the line drains off. I don't suspect we're going to find anything as we come back here. Line looks fantastic. Normally I got to let a line drain out completely. There's usually enough buildup. My view is obscured just enough. I don't like to make a call, but this thing is so darn clean. There's nothing going on. Very nicely installed line. Alright, located the camera head successfully. Line terminates out on Southwest Imperial Drive. So again, as you look at the house from the street, facing the front of it, the line goes out the back, hangs a right-hand turn, comes around the right side of the house, and then once it rounds the side of the house, the line just runs dead straight all the way to the main. Great configuration. Fewer the turns, the better. Turns are just natural pinch points, and when you have these lines that are, this is a overly long sewer line. This is what we call or at least what I call a septic or cesspool conversion. The reason it's doing this configuration here is the line likely used to be on septic or cesspool, and because of how expensive it is to reverse the plumbing underneath a house, that's going to easily add about $15,000 onto an update. They just keep the line going out the back, disconnect it from the tank, and then just wrap it around the house. So you end up with a line that's about 2 to 3 times the length of the average sewer line. You know, like if this were to be in house built right now, it would have a line that would be about 40 feet long, 45, 50 feet, something like that. So the longer they are, the better you want them to function. Your toilet flush, especially these low flow toilets, you're lucky if your solids make it 30 feet before stopping. It takes a conjunction of toilet flushes and sinks running, showers, stuff like that to convey everything out to the main. So it's extra important you treat these lines nicely. Just takes longer for everything to get from point A to point B. And yeah, if you want to keep your line looking this clean, I mean, obviously keep the the no-brainer things out. Wipes, paper towels, flushable wipes I include in the improper category. They're terrible. The big thing is cooking oil and grease. You want to let your pans cool down, wipe them out with a paper towel, or pour the grease into a jar. You just want to keep it from going down the sink drain. That is the #1 culprit that will gunk your pipe up over time. And it's often what causes a periodic improper item anyway from getting hung up in the line where it would otherwise make its way out. Anyway, right here, this is right where that clean out access is in the yard. Alrighty, we're going to go ahead and reel the camera on out of the sewer line. We have great flow end to end, absolutely spotless clean line. I could not nitpick that thing if I tried to. That right there is about as good as a sewer scope can possibly go. Cast iron pipe there, a little 5-foot section at the start. You may still have some cast iron on the interior. It's still in good shape, and cast from this area usually holds up for quite a long time. That's why it's often left in the ground. But when you have older pipe products like that, cast iron just naturally has a rougher texture to it. It's just one of those, if you're newer to home ownership, this may be stuff you already know, but you just want to be extra careful you're not putting improper things down it. Cast iron's not terribly forgiving when you put wipes and things like that down. It gets stuck in it fairly easily. Anyway, sewer line is functioning properly at this time. Thing is a beauty.